guys, I'm out here today taking my canoe on its maiden voyage. So I'm here on the Rideau River, just out doing some fishing. It's pretty windy out, so I'm just going to stay fairly close to shore, but it's lots of fun. Just going to cast into shore a little bit and see what's going on. It's really weedy, so it's a bit frustrating. Had a bit of rain today, so I'm hoping the fish are hungry. So as I'm paddling along here, I should explain what kind of paddle I'm using. I had this, a friend of mine actually ordered a custom paddle for me, and it's really nice. So as you can see, it's got sort of a very square blade, and it's got an oval shaft on it and a very nice grip on it there. This is made by the XY Meany Company of Atikokan, Ontario. I love this paddle. It's really great for river paddling, very good on the power stroke. Yeah, really think it's cool. Some geese with some little goslings over here under the tree. Pretty cute, probably about like a week old or two. So I'm hoping this little GoPro setup is working well. I've basically got one of those GoPro, looks like a clip, and it's got a little flexible rod that the GoPro attaches to, and then I just attach it to the bow seat. So, give you guys a bird's eye view of what's going on. So as you can see, I decided I got a thwart pad, so when I pick up the canoe, it's not going to hurt. And I've also got this little waterproof bag. You can see it underneath here, this little blue bag that kind of hangs off the thwart, so I can put my phone and other stuff in it. Water's a bit dark. I think I'm going to use a lure that has a little bit brighter head on it and put a grub on it. Now this canoe moves really well. I thought it would be kind of a brick in the water, but it's not bad. It's very stable as well. I'm actually paddling in a straight line, which is a miracle. I remember starting off soloing a little earlier in the season, and I'm kind of going all over the place, so I guess it's just mastering that J stroke. All right, I got a fish. I think it's really small though. Look at that. Little rock bass. You say see it? Put him back in for sure. There's lots of those little panfish in this river. There's also some pike. So funny, those rock bass, you know, they hit really hard and then you haul up this little itty bitty thing. So I got another one on. Oh well, seems to be a good spot. Just sort of casting into the middle of the channel. He's also brought a bunch of weeds up with him. It's probably the same guy. Well, I can't wait. In 1 month, it's going to be bass fishing for the big guys. Not these little rock bass. Put him back. I knew once I got a brighter jig head on there, it'd be a little bit more successful. It's something. Yeah, I like catching smallmouth and largemouth bass. They're lots of fun, especially when you go near dusk and casting on the shore. It's a nice spinning lure. God, they just dance around. It's lots of fun. That's what summer's all about, right, guys? And the closer you put the fish to the camera, the bigger it looks. Hope the wind noise isn't too bad. It's very, very windy today. We've had some thunderstorms and stuff. It's first a little bit of rain actually in about 2 or 3 weeks, so I'll take it, but it's a bit gusty today. I've got to have my eye on the sky at all times because there was a system kind of moving towards where I am, but I don't know, it looks okay. But I'm relatively close to shore, as you can see, so it won't be too big of a problem to get to shore if there's a weather moving in. Because I don't know, as you know, like things can come up really fast on the water and you need to get shelter really quickly. I've seen some scary stuff. One time at a family cottage, you know, just a wall of clouds were coming in, you know, and thunder and the lightning, and see this little sailboat kind of off in the distance, and you know, little small, you know, I don't know, catamaran or something, very small, just a little sit on top, and the sail was not open, and it was just, well, it was open, but it was flapping all over the place. I don't think the people had any clue as to how to, you know, pilot the thing or what to do, yeah, the wind got them, and it was just blowing them all over the place, and lightning was striking in the water, and one of the individuals actually jumped out of the boat thinking that they could, you know, grab onto the boat from behind and kick and get it to shore. I mean, what a stupid idea. So we actually called 911 to report a man overboard to get the water rescue to get them, because it was so dangerous we couldn't really actually go out there in the boat. So we had our binoculars on them, and actually they ended up getting just blown right into the shore before water rescue actually was deployed. It's kind of scary actually, but they were okay. But you know, you got to be so careful. You're out in the water, you know, plan things out, look at the radar, you know, really know how to operate the boat that you have and have an emergency backup plan, and just don't abandon the boat, you know. It's not a good idea, because that person actually had trouble hanging on to the boat at one point and actually got separated from the boat, and that was very concerning. But thankfully those people were okay. But yeah, just a little bit of water safety, be careful. That was on a big lake as well. I mean, very fortunate. I mean, the gusty winds blew them in the right direction, but they could have gone right out into the middle. So stay safe, guys. So I should talk a little bit about, you know, what I have here for safety measures in my canoe. So what I have, obviously I've got the paddle that I'm paddling with, but it's always a good idea to have a backup paddle, because, you know, if you flip over or whatever and one of your paddles goes downstream, you know, you have another chance to get to safety with another one. So I have this other one. It's just a cheap, crappy little paddle, but I'd be very thankful for it if my other one, you know, disappeared. Also, what I have, what we're required to have here, is a marine safety kit. Okay, so this basically comes with lots of things. As you can see, this itself is a bailing bucket. It comes also with a whistle, a flashlight, rope. So there's about, 15 meters of the buoyant heaving line. It's got a float too, so when you throw it out to someone, it's not going to sink. So this is sort of what we require for boating safety here in Ontario. I also have a whistle on me, so I don't have to unscrew the kit there to get a whistle. I got my favorite whistles actually are these Fox 40 whistles. They're P-less whistles, so they work even when they're wet. I also have a life jacket. This one's in camo, probably should be orange or yellow, so I'm much more visible in the water. So that's not the greatest, but it's a life jacket, I wear it. I'm not the strongest swimmer in the world, so if something were to happen, I get tired trying to get to shore, at least I've got something to keep me up. I've also got here in my little kit here attached to the thwart, I've got like my cell phone, because I'm in cell service range. So if I got blown off course, or didn't feel well, or got far away from where my car is to get back home, I can make a phone call, someone pick me up somewhere. Yeah, so those are the main things that I have right now with me for safety purposes. So anyway, just thought I'd give a little update on that. It's got a fish on. Geez, another rock bass. Look at guys, look at, he's huge. Ah. Woo. Let me get him here. They're hungry. Of course, what do I expect when I'm fishing with worms, eh? Oh well. The goal is just to get out on the water today, have some fun, relax on my day off. This year I hope to do some fishing on some Crown Land lakes with this boat. And fish the Madawaska River, of course. That's where our cabin is. That's a really fun river. It's got white water, flat water, lots of good fishing. It's got all dammed up, of course. It's a river in Ontario that helps us generate power. So there are several dams along it to harness the raw power of nature to make electricity for us. It used to not be like that and be much more rugged. And a lot of the guys in that area were loggers, and they would run the logs down there from Algonquin Park all the way to the Ottawa River. Very dangerous work. Log drivers standing on the logs and balancing and going down the river. A lot of people died actually, in that profession. And there's really interesting commemorative sites actually at Slate Falls, one of the bigger areas where there's been a lot of accidents in the past. Got another fish on. Oh, look at this. Amongst the weeds is a sunfish. I don't know if you guys have ever seen these before, if you're not from Canada or the US. They're very brightly colored panfish. You can eat them. This guy's a little small. I'm going to bring him up close to the camera. I don't know if you can see him there, all of his beautiful colors. We'll put him back in. These can get a fair size, but he's not a keeper, that's for sure. I've actually never tried them, but you'd want a bigger one to have a decent fillet. Got a little fish again. Another rock bass. Yeah, I think they're in here because it's so weedy and there's a bit of rocks at the bottom, so they like it in here. God, this wind is crazy. It's blowing me all over the place. All right, let's get out of here. Ooh, he's a little heavier. So I've just got this little neon orange jig head, and I'm just using worms today just for a few panfish. It is a barbed hook. I know a lot of people, or some people actually fish without the barbs on the hooks, and I was interested in knowing your guys' opinion on that, whether you debarb your hooks or not, and if so, why? Is it because there's a legal regulation or because it's easier on the fish? So yeah, let me know and how you guys approach that and your opinion on it. So for fishing in Ontario, you have to have a license for it. And what we have is we have an outdoors card for fishing. You can have one for hunting as well. I usually buy a 3-year license because it's easier. So I get a card for 3 years, and then allows me to fish for 3 years. I just reapply again. And it costs some money, but you know, it's worth it. I like fishing. There are different licenses that you can get for fishing. Obviously, if you're a commercial fisherman, that's a whole another ball game. You obviously have licenses for that. But for the sport fisheries here in Ontario, there are 2 types of licenses. There is a sport fishing category and the conservation category. The sport fishing allows you to harvest more fish to take home to eat, and the conservation license is what it is. It's like a conservationist approach, so you basically are only allowed to have a few of a particular type of fish, and the Ministry of Natural Resources here in Ontario sets the limit for how many fish you're allowed to keep. Don't know off the top of my head a lot of things, but for bass, you know, smallmouth, you can keep 2 with a conservation license. Walleye, I think it's about 2. Panfish, it tends to be a lot more. I can put a link to the regulations below if you guys are interested and you're not from the province and want to learn a bit more about it. Oh, something really grabbed my line there. And there are penalties, obviously, if you know, the ministry boat comes and checks you out. They want to make sure that you have your license, that you know, you're not overfishing your quota. So you always want to have your license with you and your outdoors card. Got a nice fish on here, but it probably feels bigger than it is because I'm really in a current right now. It's like probably a little guy. Yeah, another rock bass. Alright guys, had a great time out today in the boat on its maiden voyage. I'm pretty happy with it. It does its job. And I had lots of fun out here just piddling around, catching some panfish and chatting with you. As always guys, have a great week, and if you aren't already a subscriber and you'd like to subscribe, don't forget to do so. And thumbs up if you'd like to see more videos like this. Have a good one.